I'm moving forward every day, Jesus. I just let him lead the way every second, every minute, every hour of the day. I'm moving with Jesus every day. 24/7 with Jesus every day. 24/7. I'm moving with Jesus. I'm moving with Jesus every day.
I'm told that a lot of good behavior is due to poor health. Simply put, a lot of us get involved in living right, like drinking right, eating right, sleeping right, exercising right, all because things aren't so right with us. For many of us, we start to value health only when we start to lose it. If this describes you, or if you are part of this, then I want to offer you an opportunity to have a new start, pun intended, as I engage the presence and the attention of Miss Afreya Charles, Acting Marketing Officer of the South Caribbean Credit Union.
Yes.
Situated in North Trinidad.
Yes.
Welcome to the office of JC24/7.
Thank you for having me.
And your
Pastor
presence here is to specifically promote a program that is coming up in October 2019.
Yes.
It's called what? The
Hands Across the Caribbean, Health Walk, and New Start Expo.
Okay, great. Why is it called New Start? That's interesting. New Start.
Well, New Start is an acronym we use to explain the 8 doctors of health.
Right.
So the N stands for nutrition, E, exercise, W, water, S, sunshine, T, temperance, A, air, R, rest,
Wow.
and T, of course, the most important, trust in God.
Beautiful. I like how you put it, doctors.
Doctors.
We can go to these doctors anytime.
Yes, you can go to these doctors anytime, and it will help alleviate your medical conditions
Right.
and improve your health.
I'm interested to find out how the credit union got involved in something like this. I mean, you guys are normally into finance.
True.
But now we are talking about healthy living. Why?
Yes. Well, generally, as you know, as a financial institution, we take care of the financial health of our members.
Beautiful.
But a couple years ago, Pastor Dottin, he came to us and he told us he's planning to do this health expo because he felt that we needed more education in our community, our wider community of Trinidad and Tobago, about the different health issues that are affecting us and how to alleviate it.
Right.
And we thought that was a good idea to come on board and participate because we see some of our members having the same problems.
Right.
And we thought this would have been a good opportunity
Very good.
on a larger scale
Right.
to come out there and inform the public,
Right.
even and our members, about what they can do to alleviate their health issues.
Beautiful. You know, it reminds me of an old adage I heard some time ago that a lot of people lose their health in order to gain wealth.
Yes.
And then they have to use the same wealth to get back the health that they would have lost.
That is true. And we know that sometimes no matter how much money you have, then all ailments cannot be alleviated by the money.
Okay.
So it's best for us to take preventative measures to ensure that we maintain optimum health. So we
Right.
could be there to enjoy the blessings that life has given to us.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
It's a health expo.
Yes, it
Tell
is.
us a little bit about this health expo and when it's taking place.
Okay, so the Health Expo is going to be happening on the 6th of October.
6th of October.
Yes.
That's a Monday, Tuesday, what?
It's a Sunday.
Sunday,
So it will
okay.
start at about 11 o'clock and we'll finish at 5.
Okay.
At 3 o'clock, we have a little walk around the savannah where you could bring everybody could just do that. It's a little fun walk we have. The registration fee is $50 or 5 vegetarian cans of food.
Okay.
And we'll have a host of booths. Of course, the South Caribbean Credit Union will be there, so we want you to come there
Of
and
course.
get all the information on our products and services.
Right.
But we'll also have a variety of health screening, vision screening, BMI testing, glucose testing, your blood sugar levels and so forth. We also have a little fun treat for the youth and for the kids. We also have books on sale, which will be talking about different health foods and herbs that you could use to help alleviate your problems, and it will give you the nutritional content of the foods we eat today. You could also expect to have a showcase of the different plants and herbs and so forth that we have available. And there will be a lot of craft and art items there available, so we invite everybody to come on out to participate.
All of this you're having for just 5 cans.
Just for 5 cans of vegetarian food or $50. And if you want to be a true partner, we have jerseys on sale for just $50. So you could come put on your jersey and walk around, like, to really symbolize health and how we want to make the whole country green.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I like the idea because you're talking about, submitting just 5 cans, but there's so many things you're offering there.
Yes.
What are these 5 cans going towards anyway?
Well, we have, as you know, there are a lot of charitable organizations within Trinidad and Tobago. As a church, we service, or members of our community, we service. So once we collect these cans, we'll be donating it to these institutions, organizations, and so forth.
And you start at 11 in the morning.
We start at 11 o'clock in the morning.
But you said also that there is a walk.
Yes.
Tell us about the walk.
Okay, the walk starts at 3 p.m. So we'll congregate at the paddock at the Queen's Park Savannah. We come together and we make a lap around the savannah.
Now, because of the weather conditions we experience,
Yes.
so often it's very unpredictable, so you're not sure what will happen. So is it rain or shine, we're going to walk?
Well, once we know that it wouldn't it wouldn't cause a danger to anybody, of course we'll do the walk. Because, of course, as the saying goes, rain doesn't stop anything but cricket, right? So we'll walk.
Okay, great. Glucose testing. Blood pressure.
Blood pressure testing, body mass index testing, vision screening, cancer screening, and all those different
Is there a specific age group you are targeting?
Oh, we would like everyone to come and get tested. What we find that with younger people, because we think when you're young, you think you're so invincible. But we find out that a lot of health issues are plaguing young people today. And that's as a result of the foods they consume. All the fried foods, the oily foods, not enough fresh vegetables and fruits. So we will implore that our younger community come out also. So it's better to catch it now. And we could deal with it, and curb it.
One of the health challenges that many people are facing these days is cancer.
Yes.
Is there anything along the line of cancer there?
Yes, we'll have some cancer screening there. Definitely, it will help, identify if you have any markers or anything along that way. And Pastor Dottin, when he comes on, he can speak a little more about that.
Okay. How long has the credit union been involved in something like this?
Oh, we've been involved just about 2 years. This will be our second year, and we are really happy and excited to be there because we want our members to know and our wider community to know that even though while we also hope, right, that you prosper financially, because that's why we're there. We want you to live long enough to enjoy that prosperity and to pass it on. Yes.
Interesting. We'll see. Were you called or did you just go? I mean, I say called. Were you invited to be a part of this? I mean, I'm really excited the fact that you guys,
Well, we were invited.
Pastor Dottin approached you.
Yes, Pastor Dottin approached me. I believe I was speaking to him on another matter.
Okay.
And he said, we're having the Hands Across the Caribbean event this year. I was like, okay, great. So he said, all right, so we're getting together. And I said, of course. So we did everything we had to do, put things in place, and everything went forward
and
nicely.
I guess when he comes on, we will talk a little bit about what Hands Across the Caribbean is all about.
Yes, definitely.
But before we do that, there's maybe one more question I would like to ask you is this particular program specifically for Seventh-day Adventists?
Oh, no, not at all. This program targets everybody within Trinidad and Tobago, anybody from anywhere in the Caribbean, anybody who's visiting. You just come on down. Make it a day for the family or just a day of recreation for yourself. Right. You just come down with your 5 cans of vegetarian food or $50. Don't forget the extra 50 for your jersey. And just come and enjoy your time with us. And come and educate yourself so you could take information and spread it to those around you.
And this might sound a bit ridiculous, but is it 50 TT or 50 US?
50 TT dollars. 50 TT dollars.
That's a giveaway.
Of course it is.
Man. So you have my jerseys already?
Of course, I'm sure we have one that will fit you.
Okay,
yes, definitely.
Very well, it's in TT.
Yes, it's in TT.
Well, Afreya, thank you for being part of this experience. I applaud you and I applaud the Credit Union for joining hands and joining hands with Hands Across the Caribbean to be a part of this Grand Expo. I hope to see you there.
Thank you, and thank you for having us today.
We will be right back. When we come back, guess who will be on the set? Well, let's not spoil the surprise. When he's here, you will see him. JC24/7, we'll be right back.
Knie vor und zurück. Wir marschieren. Alles klar? Wir versuchen es. Nach oben. Einatmen. Ausatmen. Wir marschieren alle. Hopp. Hopp. 4, 3, ready. Let's go. Zieh.
Prepárate a participar con nosotros en este magno evento Las Manos alrededor del Caribe, donde iniciaremos con una caminata, actividades culturales y una gran expoventa, donde disfrutarás todos los deleites venezolanos. Nuestra cita es el día 6 de octubre a las 11 de la mañana del presente año en Queen Park Sabana, Puerto España. No faltes, te esperamos.
I know him. You know him. Do we love him? Well, maybe he's a difficult guy to hate anyway. He has been very outspoken and dynamic and very forceful in his pronouncements. And he is here to talk a little bit about how you can improve your health under the subject of hands across the Caribbean. Pastor Clive Dottin, we are happy to have you with us today.
It's a privilege to be here today.
Before we get into hands across the Caribbean, I want to talk about what I consider to be the in thing, Zessa pill. I'm sure you would have done your research on it. Could you tell us a little bit about what it is and what it does to the human mind?
Well, that's the latest confectionery on the market. And perhaps we have been in a state of denial for a long time. I remember when Isha and June started to talk about drug use in primary schools and in the secondary schools. Some officials from the Ministry of Education wanted to ban him from the schools. Now we have this Independence Fete hangover, and you see fellas on Facebook just in video clips knocked out on the ground. And that is what it actually does. In 1912, in Merck Laboratory in America, they developed this synthetic drug called ecstasy. And in terms of the chemical classification, it's a methamphetamine. So in the days when meth and ice crystals were going like wildfire in the States, they call it speed, because it's a stimulant drug. Right. So we're mixing cocaine, one stimulant drug, with the backup drug ecstasy, and you're taking alcohol chased with super energy drinks. You understand the crisis you have.
Right.
In fact, you have blurring and you have dehydration. People go into a semi-comatose position, and you saw fellas lying out flat there, they're knocked out, and some of these guys on these drugs are also driving. So you have the implications for accidents. And I saw a few accidents after that event going wrong on Arapita Avenue. So that it's just heavy. That it attacks two major sections at that prefrontal cortex here, thinking and memory and decision part of the brain, plus the emotional center, the hypothalamic region. And then there's a misfiring of signals in the ventricular cavities there. And what is happening, because of the misfiring, the ventricles contract before they can fill.
Right.
So eventually, you keep using and you have what is called hypovolemic shock, because the heart is racing, a condition we call tachycardia. And in racing, because it has to get that volume of blood and oxygen to the organs. And because of that hypovolemic shock, the body is also trying to conserve body fluids. So that implications for your urinary tract, the whole issue of the function of the kidneys, and eventually the liver and the kidneys. So you have the brain being affected, and there's a psychological dysfunctional thing there too. And you have the heart being affected, your lungs being affected, and your liver and kidneys being affected. And remember, all of this, when they're taking these sweets and these tablets, they're drinking alcohol with it, you know. So you have perhaps what is the greatest addiction disease in the country and in the world, the polydrug use. And that is critical. And that's why with New Start, while, as Afreya said, you have NP nutrition, E for exercise, W for water, S for sunshine, T for temperance. And temperance is the complete abstinence from that which is wrong,
Right.
evil,
Right.
and a moderate use of that which is good. So that is what is happening there. The Seventh-day Adventist Church is unique in the sense that, we, on an average, if you're vegetarian and you exercise and use the right set of water, get the right set of sleep, and you have trust in God, you're living 10 years plus longer.
Right.
We're in Loma Linda in California, there we're part of the blue zone. So there are a few blue zones in the world. And that Adventist population, all right, in that area of California, identified as one of the dynamic blue zones in the country.
Getting back to this as a pill, having taken it, can there be a reversal of one's condition, having been consuming it for some time?
It will take some time, and it depends on what you're taking it with. Is it just chewing it, and what some fellas do, they're grinding it now to powder, and that Zessa pill comes on the heels of the marijuana cookies. And perhaps it's a nice thing for us to talk as we look at New Start and making healthy lifestyle choices, because a lot of diseases affecting the developed world, affecting the developing world, because when they sneeze, we have to cough.
Right.
And that is what is happening. So the recovery depends on how much you're using. In fact, we want to advise folks to wait until you go into a semi-comatose position before you stop using it. It's just horrible for you. People die. Some people overdose and die one time. People overdose and die on cocaine, which is a stimulant drug. And you take ecstasy on top of that. And some of the guys on cocaine are not only on cocaine, they're also using ganja at the same time.
Right.
So we have to be very careful. And in this New Start program, we say, protect your heart with New Start. Because some people feel, especially young people, apart from the invincibility that, it won't happen to me.
Right.
Some people feel their heart is really made of some kind of cartilage. It's muscle. And it has, and then let me tell you something. What people don't know, and I haven't even heard mentioned so far, is your thrombosis, the clotting of the blood.
Right.
If that clot takes place, for example, in the coronary artery, that carries blood to nourish the heart itself as an organ. Intrinsically, you have coronary thrombosis, because the blood can't get there, so the heart muscle is going to die, and eventually you are going to die. It's nothing we should take lightly, Some Trinidad, I think about it 10, they wonder. That is why church, NGOs, the politicians, the business world, everybody, we have to have a network to really launch an unprecedented education program against this.
Okay.
And we ain't talking about the marijuana cookies yet, where people are trying to fly off roofs.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
There's the whole question of drug mixing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that issue of drug mixing is heavy. And then with this, you have the same category, one boosting the other. Then you have the mixture, what we call reverse tolerance, with the ganja hallucinogenic, and then you have the cocaine, which is the stimulant. And what you have sometimes is what is called reverse tolerance.
Right.
And that is huge. It's like the body in the middle of and the mind and a tug of war, one pulling to and one pulling the opposite direction.
Okay. And I didn't want to get so deep, but seeing that you have raised it, is there a relationship between human trafficking and the whole question of the drug trade?
Yes.
There is a
well,
relationship?
okay, but the issue of human trafficking could be done within borders or beyond borders. So you have people who are couriers, all right, and they go into England, and God and class a lovely ad where the son calling them and he say, I thought you were going to Tobago. All right, carry on.
Right.
Okay, so you have people who go on, they deposit the drugs, they take planes, sometimes they don't get caught whatsoever. So they have a product, and they're selling a product on behalf of a nefarious crocodilian rhinocerotic vampire called a drug pusher godfather. And then they realize they are the product.
Right.
So they have sold a product and they become the product. So they didn't realize in being a courier, they'll end up being sold.
Right.
Sugar and flour and what have you there. So there's a link, big time.
Now we have painted the background upon which we can now talk about hands across the Caribbean, because, it's important that we understand where we are as a society.
Of course.
And to understand the importance of what you're doing or what you seek to do on October the 6th. What is Hands Across the Caribbean, and how did we get to this point about this program?
When I was health director of the union, about 7-8 years ago, Dr. Isaac took over. So he's the chief executive officer.
Right.
So this program is sponsored by the Health Department of the Caribbean Union Conference, in collaboration with South Caribbean Conference. But as the event takes place in the last Sunday of September, right through the world, is the climax of the International Adventist Health Week, where we focus on lifestyle choices.
Right.
Why we got this Hands Across the Caribbean, we must credit Dr. Noel Braffett, who was my predecessor.
Right.
And now Dr. Isaac is my successor.
Have mercy.
Almost off the radar. Yes, so what has happened is that we had this health research program basic with the Caribbean Health Research Institute. Dr. Simeon was in charge. And at the end of it, we say, no, sometimes we go and do programs, get diplomas, and nothing happens in the community. So one day, Dr. Braff and I talk, and they say, hey, we could do something across Caribbean at the end of the health week. We could have this health expo, do screening, and have a research component. Now, Dr. Braff is a research specialist, because he's still alive, you know. And we combine this and say, you know, we're going to make it exciting for young people. We'll have novelty events. We are going to have the aerobics burnout. We'll have the walk. We'll screen you. So those who walked last year, we'll screen you this year and show you results. How you're doing between the last year and this year. Are you exercising? Are you getting enough rest and enough sleep? Are you following the vegetarian lifestyle, for example? So that there is a continuous assessment of the individuals who participate. And then we go a little deeper into the agriculture. You understand? You say if you have to eat healthy, you have to grow your own food, perhaps. You know, I mean, if you don't have space, you're renting from HCC, for example. You have your grow box. You understand? So that is what it's and then we go into the schools. Now we normally go to the schools after the event. Now we go into the schools before and after, and that's part of the sustainability.
Just curious.
Yes.
Are you going to be part of the aerobics burnout?
Yes, I was last year.
Excuse me.
And I burned all the rest. You understand? And this year walking and think, you know what a girl did from Rio Clara? Sorry, I don't know her name. I would have told the whole nation and the world. You know what happened? She ran to beat me. It's a walk. I mean that very clear. It's a walk. I mean, people get their medals, and we're giving out this book. That's part of the sustainability by Willie and Alien Oliver. They are the health directors of the world for the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and they have a lovely book called Hope for Today's Families. And once you're a visitor, we have you there. Of course, I represent in the St. James Police Club, but we had many hats without hair. You understand? I don't have much hair, but I have many hats. And what is happening? So I was in a meeting with them, you know what I mean, this week, and I'm telling you, we just had an amazing time. The new senior superintendent, he means business. Superintendent Mark, and then James Lever says, we are coming, I'm bringing my officers to have them tested. You know, a lot of private security firms are barely advantaging some folks. They don't care about their health. And a lot of, even some of the capitalists, you know, the rambunctious capitalists don't care about the workers' health. So come down, man. And it's not about making money. In fact, the three beneficiaries are the St. James Police Club, the Ready Center, and the Life Hope Center in Matura, and the Life Hope Center in Orangefield with the cans. So it is designed to help the community. And this year we're going with we're going to a blast in those schools to help them understand. And we have a very interactive lesson with New Start. It involves a race with the New Start, forming New Start in record-breaking time, and they compete against each other, and they do the chants, and they do their own drama, then they do their own artwork and painting in the stuff there.
What I'm hearing, Pastor Dottin, is that this program is not limited to any class or creed or distinction.
No, absolutely not. In fact, we have Hindu groups will be coming. We have Bishop, you know, Janki, you know, he'll be coming too. And Raghunanan. And we have a lot of guys who are coming with their church groups. I'm with the Evangelical Alliance next week, Victory Heights, and we're inviting all of them to come down. So it's a mixture of not just Christian religions, but Christian and non-Christian religions coming. People.
How long has Hands Across the Caribbean been around?
We started in 2010, you know. So it's almost a decade. We're celebrating a decade right now.
How has the response been over the past 10
The
years?
response has been good, especially, I was telling folks, look at St. James Police Club. We may have 3 or 4 Seventh-day Adventists in the group. But we have about 50, 60 people coming. You know, so you get the police involved, you have the young people, you have the parents involved, the parent council with Officer Shabadi and they. And we just have a great response from individuals and different communities. Look at Sanssouci. They're coming from the furthest and they arrive at 5 o'clock in the morning. But this year they have a little extra time because we start at 11.
Very good, very good.
Yes.
Pastor Dottin, one of the things we have to guard against is making major programs or events something that would last only for the day.
Yes.
How do you talk about sustainability? When I come, how can I make the event or the lifestyle my event or the event my lifestyle?
Right. So that it has to be through a program of constant education. We have material we give out to individuals, like this book, for example, and then the health research people would help the individual to monitor. So you'll get a document how you can monitor, all right? How you could do your thing in terms of your 10,000 steps every day, all right? The little apparatus you have, you put on and you check yourself. So that we empower people to check themselves and to look for, you know, warning signals if a particular negative health condition is coming on. And then through our churches, we have New Start clubs. All right, that's important. And we invite the Pathfinders and the cadets and the Boy Scouts to be involved. So they will have their events taking place. So that what we want is that the church becomes a health development sanctuary, a lifestyle center. This is what, and not just for Adventist churches, but any church whatsoever. And then we introduce the folks, the young people, the Youth Alive program through the various church leaders, through the various groups. And we have a manual we give out called the Youth Alive Manual. So they could follow it in the community. So that this, for example, the St. James Police Youth Club has become a New Start club too.
Okay, great.
And we keep the program up monthly. Not too long ago, Community Hospital went down there and did the testing of the folks who took part in the event. So there's, between the year, the 12 months, there are bridging events.
Beautiful. Let me personalize it. How has this benefited you over the years?
It's tremendous. I mean,
I try to look as young as I am.
I'm made it 26 years, and I'm doing a good job. You know, the best day in the year is really May the 26th. That's when I was born.
Well, who told you
so
that?
I hear you. So I turned 70. I'm proud of my age.
Wow.
And then somebody told me recently, Pastor, perhaps you're not pronouncing it well.
Right.
You're enunciating it wrong. It should be 17, not 70.
Have mercy, Jesus.
I mean, and if I come out of this sort of wig, you know, I mean, there'll be no difference, you and I.
Okay,
so that it's and I exercise. I go on hikes, and every time I preach, I exercise too.
Mercy. Even when you speak, you exercise.
I'm telling you. So it's just a one. I've benefited immensely.
Very well.
Okay, and I want to tell folks that protect your heart with New Start.
Right.
That's a rhyme we use. Protect your heart with New Start. And every day you exercise on a New Start. When you get enough rest, after work on the rest part, of course.
Yes,
yeah, I mean, open confession is good for the soul. Although you're not a Catholic priest, but anyhow, open confession is good for the soul. And we are saying that it teaches us to be part of support groups, and we have support groups across the country that follow the New Start program. You could join anyone.
Why do you think God wanted you to do this Hands Across the Caribbean and have this New Start element? Why is it that God is playing a significant part in this experience?
You know, Jeremiah 1 says, before our mothers met our fathers, verses 3 to 5.
Have mercy.
God had a plan for our lives.
Come on now.
Before ovum and sperm collided, matrimonialized to form the zygote, God had a plan for our lives, and he had a great plan.
Right.
And you know, God has given each of us, you know, a certain level of spiritual giftedness. And I believe God planted that desire in my heart. And I tell you how I got into the support group and health business. I was in Piaco Airport, and they were selling some books. And I love to read. And there was a story about a girl from Britain. She needed a New Start. She had just passed 6 subjects GCE. They don't have CXE, they still have GCE. And you know what happened? She was suicidal.
Wow.
And they found her, after she got her 6 distinctions, they found her smoking the marijuana. And they asked her, you want to go home? She said, I'm not sure. You want to do A-levels? I'm not sure. You want to join a church? She said, I'm not sure. She said no to that. And then they asked her, do you want to die? And she said, yes, I'm sure. When I read that, you know, God, there was a eureka, electric fire in my brain. I said, God has placed me upon this world to help young people make the right choices. I prevent them from thinking about being depressed and suicidal. And God has really placed that dream on my heart. And the more I read, health literature and Seventh-day Adventist literature and interact with drug addicts and guys who want to get off of this bullying thing and violence and crime, I realize God has called me to the kingdom for such a time as this, and to promote making the right choices. And you know, I've developed this rhyme: inspect, detect, reflect, select, and then you could expect. When you inspect, that's the examination. When you detect, that's the information from the examination. When you reflect, that's the meditation on the information from the examination. When you select, that's the determination after the meditation on the information from the examination. And then you have great expectations.
I'll try to inject that.
So October the 6th.
October the 6th.
And you could register the Adventist Book Centers, the conference office here, the union office, 7 Rockridge, Maraval.
Right.
You know, and we have online registration too.
Beautiful.
Okay, so.
I'm planning to come and burn you out.
Yeah, man.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, and you want to challenge me this year?
Of course.
Don't come with no steroids, you know. God bless.
Maybe you have faltered in your dietary habits. Maybe your health is not what it's supposed to be. We can give you a new start. If any man is in Christ, he can have a new start. Start the day with Christ, and he will take care of all your needs. Thank you for joining us on JC24/7. Maybe looking forward to seeing you on October 6th. And if not, even beyond that, we will see you again on JC24/7.